Quite. We are live now.
We are
But we'll
live.
wait for like a couple of seconds. Let students join in.
Okay.
So we can sort of hang in here for like a couple of minutes, and once everybody is there, we can sort of kickstart. Yellow. Hi Nikhil, hi Sunita, hi Vikas. Hi guys, hello everyone. Okay, so we will wait for a couple of more seconds. This topic I sort of taking this topic because it's demanded by students. It was students' demand. It's a ये topic पे एक आप session कर लो because it's been a long time that we would have a clarity on how can an engineer or how, let's say, a BCom guy or let's say non-engineer whatever, how we can actually excel in you know operations management. So आज का topic होगा operations management का. But then in this topic, guys, we will be talking about lot of things. Like we'll talk about consulting, we'll talk about operations management, we'll talk about quality management, we'll talk about financial services. We'll talk about everything and anything that is related towards the operations management. Okay. We also going to talk about the MBA in operations from IIT, like from because Shashank had joined us. He's from IIT Kharagpur. He's the alumnus, and we also be considering we'll be taking into consideration other IIMs and other IITs and other colleges also. Those were brilliant. So we'll make a special mention about IIT Shashank, and a bit about NITI. And we'll talk about NITI also. Okay. So cool, guys. Thank you so much for joining in. So Shashank, I would love to have you start this session, so you can sort of kickstart with the session and give them the idea here operations management में होता क्या है basically. To start with that subjects and everything. Over to you.
Okay. So I'll start with like MBA in IIT and operations management. So there are like many misconceptions in people, like कौन apply कर सकता है IIT के लिए, and like who all are eligible. So we can just go through that points and like about placements at IIT and like what all like opportunities are there as far as operations, analytics, and other domain are concerned in IITs. So mainly I'll discuss about three IITs: IIT Bombay, IIT Delhi, and IIT Kharagpur. So let's have a look at like who all can apply for these colleges. The first one is IIT Bombay. So here they have actually requirement that you should have at least 4 years of coursework in your bachelor's degree. So engineer can definitely apply because engineering is 4-year course. But if you are a BCom guy, you can't apply to IIT Bombay. But if you have done MCom, then yes, you can apply. So people who have done masters in other streams like commerce, arts, like MCA, they can apply for IIT Bombay. As far as IIT Delhi is concerned, all can apply. Like even person who have done 3 years of coursework in their bachelor's, BSc, BBA, they can apply for IIT Delhi. And for IIT Kharagpur, again, it is similar to IIT Bombay. You need to have degree, master's degree in commerce, arts, or economics to actually apply for IIT. So second thing that comes in mind is that like, is there any sectional cutoff and overall cutoff as far as like IIT is concerned? Then yes, for IIT Bombay, it is there. Like you need to have overall 90 percentile and sectional 80 percentile. But as far as IIT Delhi and Kharagpur is concerned, you don't have a sectional cutoff. So for IIT Kharagpur, you need to have overall 90 percentile, but there is no sectional cutoff as such. So when I'm saying these are the cutoffs. These are the cutoffs for applying. It doesn't mean that you would get a call at 90 percentile. Okay. So these are the some like general questions.
Basic benchmarks.
Yeah.
Basic benchmark. Okay.
Right. Then again, like fee structure, if we discuss, it's mostly around 9 to 10 lakhs for all IITB schools. So which is I think pretty good. As far as like many people thinks that IIT hai, so it's just for operations or analytics, but actual mein aisa nahi hai. Like if you see the placement figures, like for batch of 2020, I have gathered some data for IIT Bombay, DMS, IIT Delhi, and
Beautiful,
Vigistam.
beautiful.
So here you can see that around 20% of the batch of IIT Bombay this year got placed in BFSI. Okay, so even
Okay.
finance में भी काफी opportunities है. Like even if you see Vigisom, sales and marketing में around 20% of batch place हुआ है. Then consulting में around 26. Almost 1/4 of the batch got placed in consulting domain, and around 20% of batch got placed in operations. And in IT analytics again it's 13. So overall if we see like general like perception hota hai na, like IIT hai so it's for operations and analytics only. It's not like that. You get like a bunch of domain, like be it consulting, operations, sales, finance, BFSI, anything,
So
everywhere you
Shashank,
can go from IIT.
Shashank, sorry to interrupt. You're saying that 1/4 of students from IIT Kharagpur has got into consulting domain.
Consulting, yes.
Beautiful. That's a good number. That's a good number. So I think for the fact we've made a mention about consulting as such. Would you mind picking up consulting and talk about consulting a little bit?
Okay.
That what sort of roles are given, profile based sort of companies, and probably we can just take it a little ahead and say that here आगे जाके बच्चों के लिए career growth कैसे रहेगी, because a lot of people don't know. So guys, here we are going to talk about consulting. So a lot of people don't know that यार engineering को consulting में कैसे venture out हो सकता है, because a lot of people feel that marketing करो, strategic management करो, finance करो, तब जाके consulting के roles मिलते हैं. But you are an engineer, you can be in IIT, you can be in non-IIT, any sort of a college. If you do operations management, still you can actually get into consulting domain, right? Simple si baat.
Right. So like if we talk about consulting, like you'll get roles in different domain, be it technical consulting or like government and policy consulting, or like it's not just restricted to operations. Like there is profile for supply chain consulting also. So for example, you have done mechanical or production engineering, right? So you are already done with, you're pretty strong as far as the supply chain and the production part is concerned. So you stand a good chance as far as the supply chain consulting domain is concerned as your future domain for masters. So again, like if we talk about IT consulting, like if you have work experience in Wipro or TCS, then again you have an added advantage there because you have already worked with such kind of clients in your past organization. So like it gives you a good hold on that particular subject. So for engineers, typically if you see, like consulting is a very bright domain, and yeah, in IITs you will get very different roles, right from financial consulting to supply chain consulting, IT consulting. Like yeah, we get all sorts of role on campus.
Okay, one second. So Shashank, in financial services, when an engineer with MBA in operations gets into BFSI consulting, what is going to be his job role? I mean, you can take it up. I'll take it up a little bit later, but if you can just give an idea, your role kya hota hai, then I'll sort of top it up.
Sir, I can tell more about the sales and marketing role. For
Okay.
finance, I think you should.
Chalega, not a problem. So we'll move to consulting in the IT domain. Do you have any stuff to talk about?
Yeah, it's mostly technical or analytics based consulting. So like people who have like WorkX in TCS and Infosys, they could directly relate. So yeah, like it's, so I don't know much about that particular thing.
Okay, so there is a question the one student is asking basically. What about IT consulting? Is the IT consulting same as what sort of consulting that been given by the MBA, like McKinsey, BCG, and Bell & Company? Is that the same or there's a difference?
That is the strategy consulting. This one is pretty different. So you'll be working on a technical project here,
right.
And there it's more about the strategy, building strategy, and
right.
So it's right. Kind of different.
Okay, so to sort of top it up here, what he just said. So IT consulting is way different than the consulting which is a proper consulting that we talk about, which is given by the McKinsey, BCG, and Bain & Company. So IT consulting is going to be purely towards the technology stuff. MBB ki jab baare mein baat karenge, it's going to be business strategy kind of a work, which is called as management consulting. तो वो एक चीज थोड़ी सी अलग हो जाती है. But do people stand chance? Those who are in MBA operations, Shashank, what do you think?
Yeah, like people in operations definitely get opportunity for such roles, like as far as strategy is concerned.
Okay, okay, fine. So we've covered IT, we've covered this MBB wala funda also. BFSI, I'll take. Okay, BFSI is something I'll take later on. Any point you have, you can just sort of finish it up, and then we'll talk about the BFSI.
Okay, so is it like we have to talk about only consulting or other fields as well? Like,
sorry, consulting,
So-
consulting, purely consulting, purely consulting,
2 points as such, like.
purely consulting. Okay, fine. So I'll start with the BFSI one. Now, a couple of interesting things we can talk about here as far as the BFSI thing is concerned. So, okay, so we'll talk about this. BFSI, mein what happens when you are an MBA, operations ka banda, right? You will be joining BFSI, and if you guys know that, IT companies can take you, give you job. There are ITES companies, they can give you job. Basically, there are companies, let's say even banking sector can actually get you, job offer. Now, what happens when you are an MBA operations and then want to move towards the financial sector? The job opportunities are amazing, humongous, and you'll get paid very well. Excuse me. To begin with, to start from a back end, right? So if you're somebody who has done the operations management, right? What happens is basically banks like commercial banks. I'm not talking about the investment banks. Commercial banks will take you on board, wherein you will be talking about daily basis का process engineering, process management, process improvement. The starting salary for an MBA operations will be around about 13 to 14 lakhs. If you're from, let's say, top 30, matlab 20 ke upar wala college, if you're in top 10, top 20, you should be aiming at 18 lakh ka package out here. That's the operations management at the banking level. When you talk about the IT sector as an operations management, so it is as good as being a business analyst. It is as good as being consultant, and then they'll give you nomenclature or designation as consultant. You will be doing a job of more of sort of consulting, but it is called as operations. So you are working with Infosys, and Infosys has a client which is based out of USA, and that client is quite interested to give that entire work to Infosys. So you as a consultant, you as a business analyst or senior business analyst, whatever designation that you've been given by the company, you will have to interact with the client, understand uska requirement, prepare some documents, speak to client, decide the service level agreement, SLA jisko bola jata hai, all that stuff. And you're going to be a mediator between Infosys and the client, which is abroad. Now, what happens is here is that in IT companies, for the fact the BFSI revenue is quite a lot. मतलब उनका 60% IT company का जो revenue होता है वो वहां से ही आता है. तो जब भी आप देखोगे BFSI sector gets hit, IT का revenue gets hit. Even the same thing happens in the share market. तो फंडा यहाँ पे ये होता है. That's the best thing about BFSI का IT thing. Infosys पे काम करा, एक client से आपने अगर काम करा, you get that project settled. So 3, 4, 5, 6 महीने you'll work on that project, then you'll move, then you'll be given another opportunity. So likewise, you can work with NBFCs, you can work with IT, ITES, banking, so on and so forth, and you can grow the ladder up. तो बैंकिंग में जाओगे तो कंसल्टेंट का प्रोफाइल नहीं मिलेगा, तो बैंकिंग में बोलेगा ऑपरेशंस मैनेजर, assistant manager, operations manager. Eventually, you will be growing the ladder up, and then your designation will be maybe South head, or maybe national head operations, or maybe Asia head operations, something like that. So that's what exactly happens in the IT domain consulting. If you are MBA in operations management, fair enough, fine. So that's about the BFSI. We'll take this question step by step. Shashank, over to you if you have any point to make.
Okay, so shall we go to operations management?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, so as far as the operations management is concerned, okay, so the main agenda of today's discussion, like what all opportunities are there as far as people for engineering background is concerned, then yes, okay, the first thing I would say, operations is just not about manufacturing. So mainly अगर हम जब operations बोलते हैं तो सबसे पहले manufacturing ही ध्यान में आता है, तो it's
right.
not
Somebody asked me about that also, operations manufacturing के बारे में बताओ. I think that's a valid point. You can go ahead.
Yeah, like operations job you can do in FMCG company or manufacturing company, e-commerce company, or let's say technology company, or it could be like anything. For example, if we take in FMCG, your role would be somewhere in the supply chain, overall supply chain. If you to understand what exactly supply chain, you could get a role right from procurement, purchase, or like if you are into factory, then manufacturing. um, so there are different sort of role as far as FMCG is concerned. Then similarly for like if you go into Amazon or like e-commerce company or retail sector, you might get profile in program management. So yeah, like different profiles are there. So it's not like if we are talking about operations management, it is just about shop floor kind of work or manufacturing sector. So you could actually land up in different sectors with the particular operations profile.
Okay, Shashank, tell me one thing. Like a lot of time people do ask, just want to know your take on it. Is the SCM, supply chain management, is it a part of operations,
Operations.
or it is now been considered as a different vertical altogether?
It's a kind of different vertical altogether, but it's like done together with operations management. So overall, you'll be studying operations and supply chain management in your
Okay.
MBA. So there is subject on operations. Operations is a very general term, and supply chain is a specific thing.
Okay. So just to make this little bit clear to every one of you, let's just say you are doing MBA finance. Okay. So MBA finance is a big domain as such. In MBA finance, you have multiple verticals, you can call it as, or multiple domains, you can call it as. So it can be investment banking, it can be fund management, it can be hedge fund, it can be sales and marketing, it can be anything. Likewise, operations में मेरे ख्याल से, Shashank, correct me if I'm wrong, you have quality management, you have supply chain management, then manufacturing and XYZ, all these things, right?
Yeah, multiple roles are there.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, fine. Now, I wanted to, sort of take this point out because when we talk about operations, मेरे ख्याल से, what do you think, Shashank? This is what I've seen over a period of time, at least for last 3 to 4 years. Operations has been a pretty hot cake for Amazon, Flipkart, and other companies, like those who are mostly in the e-commerce domain. If you can give a little bit idea about it.
Yeah, like if you see their overall business, it's mostly around managing the seamless supply chain. Like when you place an order, you have to make sure that it gets delivered within the given time frame. So all those optimization, like how you should what should be the position of your distribution center, or what they call them as the fulfillment center, and how you do the overall arrangement inside that particular warehousing. So this comes under the warehousing, warehouse management basically. So that is one thing. Then other thing is the program management, wherein like you are responsible for, let's say, calculating ROI for a particular scheme, or there are multiple roles that one can get in FMC e-commerce company after doing their MBA in operations management.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough. Good insight on that front. Okay. Now a quick question to you. A lot of people want to ask. So IITs, they are the, like, any IIT when we talk about, they're like mecca of operations, right? Will you be comfortable, sort of, giving us an idea that how IITs are different than the another, like other B schools, those who are in the country, when it comes to operations? Like, what is so, like, what's that X factor?
Okay, so everyone knows that IIT is like best for engineering education, right? So if you see the overall curriculum of operations management, some of the subjects like operation research and some other subjects, they are already common with engineering. So you get really brilliant professors who have a lot of research experience when you go for an IITB school. So as far as operations management is concerned, compared to other college, you definitely get this particular advantage that the professors and the research work already going on in that particular domain is really phenomenal as far as IITs are concerned. And again, you have other sister departments as well, like industrial engineering, production engineering, wherein some of the subjects are similar. So you get a larger number of people with whom you could discuss your concerns, if you have any doubt in operations in that particular subject of operations management. So that is one more thing which is good. And again, like many of the top certifications like CII, so they give kind a certificate. Sometimes they offer free certification for top 3 IITs and top 3 IIMs. So therein you could actually go for this professional certifications in operations at a very negligible cost or very low cost. So again, as far as certification or learning or the professor pool is concerned, then yeah, you have an advantage when you join IITB school.
Okay, and just to make a mention, IITs are not only giving you guys job, in the domain which is like manufacturing. It's not only manufacturing. IITs are very well giving you jobs in service industry, in e-commerce industry, and like there's this huge sort of a scope that you can have. Okay, Shashank, like how about the non-engineers in operations management? Bird's eye view, non-engineers, operations management, irrespective of IIT से MBA किया नहीं किया, what do you think like future for them?
Yeah, like if you are interested in operations management role, you could learn that in 2 years. Like ऐसा नहीं कि आपको पहले का background चाहिए ही चाहिए. If you have that kind of experience, it helps. But if you don't have experience, but still it's very well possible. So if you are someone who really want to get into a particular domain of operations management, then yeah, you can definitely go for it. And if you are really interested, then definitely you should join IITB school, NEET, or SPGen, wherein you will get some really good pool of people, like-minded people who are interested in operations. So yeah.
Is it tough to study operation? I mean, like, do you have to be an engineer to study MBA operations?
No, it's not like that.
It's not like that. Achha, anybody can learn operations very well.
Yeah.
Now, just to give you guys a little
If
bit
everyone
idea.
can learn finance, so there is everyone can do operations also. Like even most of the engineers go for MBA in finance, right? So they are learning from scratch. Similar is the case otherwise. Like if you are a non-engineer, then you can definitely learn operations if you want.
Right. Now, just to give you guys a little bit idea out here is that operation is going to be the next big thing. I'll tell you why operations is going to be the next big thing. Shashank, if you have anything to add, you can chip in. Okay, don't ask, just chip in. So, guys, why operations is going to be a really hot kick now? Because we are in this sort of era wherein all the companies are aggressively looking ahead for cost cutting. Okay, they want to have their processes without errors, so they are actually looking for operations people, those who have a great idea about operations, those who can help companies to reduce the cost. You reduce the cost and profit is going to go up. So operations is going to be a really kind of upcoming specialization eventually for engineer, non-engineer, pharma, BCom, whatever you do. Because मेरे ख्याल से operations एक बहुत ही sexy specialization है जहाँ पे हर एक किसी को जॉब मिल सकती है. तो अगर आप मान लो बीकॉम प्लस ऑपरेशन हो तो भाई तुम आईटी चलो या फिर बीएफएसआई चलो. अगर आप लेट्स से मैकेनिकल प्लस ऑपरेशन हो, मैन्युफैक्चरिंग ज्वाइन कर सकते हो, ऑटोमोबाइल ज्वाइन कर सकते हो, व्हाटएवर, लाइक so there is a place for everybody, and as it is an operations is going to be really upcoming now. So anything else we are missing out here? Any point we are missing, Shashank, or like anything we want to cover?
Yeah, we have like covered everything. Like it's really important because day by day, like with increase in competition, you need to improve your overall efficiency of operations. So definitely operation is going to be next big thing. For example, kuch saal pehle you won't really think of getting your parcels delivered within one day when you go for online shopping, but nowadays it is pretty much possible. So
True.
yeah.
True, very true.
Yeah.
That's a valid point, by the way. So cool. Shashank, anything towards quality management?
Quality management. Okay. So as far as quality management is concerned, it could be in any field. It could be in manufacturing or it could be in software. So for example, if we take manufacturing domain, so there are some departments like quality control and quality assurance, which take care, which basically is responsible to basically test the product before it is launched in market or it is dispatched in market. So here in as an operations manager in quality department, you will be responsible to make sure that a faulty product is not getting delivered to your customer. You are maintaining all the norms as far as the like standards are considered. So you have to just be good with different standards and perform like diligence test before you dispatch your products. So it's pretty much around maintaining the quality and managing the quality of your product, be it any industry, manufacturing or software.
Okay. Okay. Just to add in what Shashank said, very correct, rightly. So he has given you the manufacturing part because he comes from the engineering domain. So if you look at even in the banking and finance, the operations management, which is the quality management, has a great scope. Certifications like Six Sigma, right? It actually helps you to reduce this error. Like जहाँ पे भी आपको लगेगा कि यहाँ पे जो चीजें होती है वो एक प्रोसेस के थ्रू होती है, तो वहाँ पे क्वालिटी मैनेजमेंट बहुत जरूरी है. बैंकिंग एंड फाइनेंस हो गया, फार्मा हो गया, यहाँ पे आपको क्वालिटी मैनेजमेंट की बहुत ज्यादा रिक्वायरमेंट होगी. सो if you're somebody who has done operations management, I'll tell you something about SIOM. SIOM में they have a curriculum जहाँ पे they have to study quality management. They have to do some certification or in a sort of an live project or internship which is based on operations management, quality management by the way. So this is where they sort of bring in that USP for the students. So मेरे ख्याल से quality management is there for service also and is there for manufacturing also. So if you want to do some, let's say Six Sigma, all the stuff, those certifications you can do. One question they are asking, Shashank, is that operations, how operations is connected to pre-sales or sales? Like
Okay.
the way you sort of now working in the sales and marketing. So you want to throw some light on it?
So no, like my profile is completely into sales and marketing. It's
Okay.
not related to operations. But when you are working in a particular domain, you definitely have to coordinate with other departments. Like
Okay.
if you are into operations and let's say you are working in quality management and with pre-sales or in marketing, they have like set of requirements from customer. They know understand like what all things that customer wants. Then there is effective. Then there should be some effective communication between the operations team and the marketing team regarding like what all level of quality we could actually provide to customer and what is the requirement. So in a way you have to coordinate well with marketing to actually explain them like what is the process capability and how much you could deliver, be it in terms of the specifications or the quantity. So yeah, that's how like operations and
Okay.
marketing.
Okay. Shashank, a question aa raha hai yahan pe. Some students are asking. They're saying that because of this Corona thing, right? The entire supply chain management has gone on a toss. We all know that. So
Right.
with regards to this, what's going to be the future of operations or specifically SCM?
So definitely companies are now like doing some really innovative thing as far as to overcome these problems and roadblocks, and they are finding more effective ways to make sure that everyone and is getting their uh, things delivered at their place, right? So as far as the um e-commerce websites are concerned, like there are many containment zones as of now and many red zone where it is not possible to freely move your goods. So they have to optimize their routes and do the complete network analysis to like decrease the overall delivery time and make sure like more and more pin codes are accessible even in time of crisis. So there is excellent this is actually an excellent opportunity as far as the research in operations domain is concerned, right? So definitely people are working towards how they could actually optimize their supply chain in this like crisis time.
Okay. Okay. I'll give you a little perspective out here. If you go back in 2008, like what we are seeing in 2020, because of this Corona thing, right? Things are completely screwed up as far as the SCM is concerned. Now, like what he said exactly, like he said correctly that there has to be some innovation now. There has to be certain new ways to do the business. So those who ask me this question, it's a very smart question, and thank you so much for asking that those sort of question. So if you go back and if you just sort of relate it with 2008 crisis, which was completely banking and financial sector. Now that point in time, if you look at the crisis happened in the USA, okay, it actually gave a lot of hit to the global economy. Now 2008 crisis gave people an idea, couple of ideas. Number one, that whenever there is a problem with your banking and finance sector, as a government, you have to kind of infuse a lot of liquidity. You've got to influx that lot of liquidity, right? This is what exactly is happening in 2020. If you look at the companies are not making money. ITC made losses, right? Bajaj Finance, Bajaj Finserv, they are not making any money. April, May, no dhanda, no business. Still, the stock is up by 43%. So they are following the same funda. Then they came to know that, acha, why this fuck up entirely happened? This happened because there was no regulation for derivative and all that, blah, 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 blah. So after 2008, they came up with the regulation. After 2008, they came up with a lot of fundamentals. In the same way, SCM will go through major changes. In the same way, SCM will absorb new talent in the market. And that's where I see SCM will a little bit turn around. The validity or the sort of the definition of SCM will kind of broaden up now. Because that's where people really want to understand that if these sort of things are happening later on, how SCM will or should be intact. So many can say SCM will have a great in the future because industry will definitely change it. There is no doubt about it. So that's my 2 cents on it. I hope you guys sort of understand that. Okay, how can a fresher survive? Freshers पूछ रहे थे शायद freshers थोड़ी tension में कि freshers को jobs कैसे मिलती है operations के बारे में. So we'll talk about the job a little bit later. But let's talk about freshers. Freshers का क्या फंडा है यार operations में? Workers का जरूरत होता है या फिर कैसे?
Okay, so as far as our college is concerned, we hardly had freshers in our college, but definitely freshers got like roles in operations management. So it's not like if you are fresher, you won't get an opportunity. But mostly people with WorkX go for operations management with like if they have like 2-3 years, then it's really good to like it's very easy to get a job in operations domain. But yeah, even freshers can get a job. It's not
Okay.
a problem.
So Shashank, is it really necessary that you have to have an experience which is relevant या फिर मान लो irrelevant experience हो गया तो भी काम होता है?
It's not mandatory. It's not mandatory. No, like criteria is not there. Ki minimum work access is required. Anyone can apply. And if you are passionate enough for doing operations, you'll be able to justify during interview and you'll get the job. That should not be a problem.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Now we'll move to the other segment where we want to talk about what sort of job people are getting into. Operations domain, consulting domain, because operation is also able to now give consulting roles. So what should be the starting salary that people should be looking at? Like MBA, like engineer, non-engineer, जो भी MBA operations करेगा. What should be the basics sort of?
Depends on college and profile, right? Right from you could expect profiles ranging from 14 lakhs to 30 lakhs, right? So you get all sort of profiles. So it totally depends on the college and the profile offered by different companies. So there is no error.
You are an engineer, you hail from COAP, amazing college, fabulous college. Shashank, if given you a chance to select, let's say, top 7 B schools for operations in the country, what will be the list? Including IT Kharagpur.
I'll not consider ABC and other colleges. They are like, okay, they are good for every domain. So as far as only operations is concerned, SPGen, IIT Bombay, NITI, DMS, IIT Delhi, IIT Kharagpur, and because we are talking just about operations, even SIOM is good. Yeah.
What about, you have idea about SRCC GBO, Global Business Operations?
No.
Okay, cool. I'll take that up. Okay. So as he correctly said, definitely he has given the list. That list is awesome, no doubt about it. But I'll tell you, there is a little bit downside also. The downside for operation that I see here is that if you are doing operations, MBA in operations from a college which is not known for operations, let's say KGSOM, COAP, let's say any other college, right? Then there can be a problem of your placement, because you might not get into the actual placement of operation. तो आप जो एक्चुअल ऑपरेशन बोलते हैं वो शायद से ना मिले, आईटी में मिल जाएगा कंसल्टेंट का, बैंक में मिल जाएगा, वो हो जाएगा, बट व्हेन यू रियली वांट टू गेट इनटू ऑपरेशन लाइक सप्लाई चेन मैनेजमेंट, quality management, manufacturing, then you have to get into the school that Shashank just sort of referred. So that's quite important. Okay, do we have any other questions? Guys, today we are going to take only operations wala question, nothing else. अच्छा, ये एक इंटरेस्टिंग क्वेश्चन है शशांक, मैथ्स में अच्छा होना जरूरी है यार? मैथ्स हर जगह आता है, बच्चा फाइनेंस के लिए भी मैथ्स पूछता है, मार्केटिंग के लिए मैथ्स पूछता है, मैथ्स, व्हाट्स योर टेक?
Yeah, like few subjects like operations, research, वहाँ पे maths लगता है काफी कुछ.
अच्छा.
But manageable है, like बहुत ज़्यादा एकदम बहुत ज़्यादा नहीं चाहिए. Basic भी अगर आता है तो it's sufficient.
Basic आएगा तो भी चलेगा, टेबल लेवल आएगा
चलेगा. एकदम ही बहुत poor performance नहीं रहना चाहिए, but even decent है तो manageable है overall.
मैथ्स का इतना खौफ है ना यार, बच्चा पहले से पूछता है सर ये आएगा आगे आएगा, छोड़ो मेरे को नहीं करना, नहीं आएगा आगे क्या है, मौके मिलते हैं। मैथ्स का खौफ है यार, बहुत खौफ है मैथ्स का। अच्छा, somebody is asking, as a fresher, how one should make or create a good profile or decent profile for operations?
Okay, so first of all, you could go for certifications like Six Sigma. So if you want, you can go for KPMG Six Sigma ka Green Belt certification, which is really good. You'll get an idea about operations beforehand. And other than that, there are many other certifications also, like CDDP, that is Certified Demand Driven Planning, and SCM Pro. So many certifications are there. Maybe I'll put a list of certification that you could do if you are interested in operations management. Other than that, just to show that you are really interested in that particular domain, you could also go for courses on Coursera in similar topics. So yeah, I think that should be enough. And if you get a opportunity of, let's say, some live project or internship, remote internship, so you can go for that also to build a profile for operations.
Okay, cool. Last segment, Shashank. How does the growth look like in operation? Hierarchy, designation wise, like how one can improve?
Yeah, like it depends on the role more. Like if you are in consultant, you'll mostly join as a supply chain consultant, then senior consultant. And if you are, let's say, in if manufacturing domain is concerned, you could like start with manager production, or you could go to deputy manager, then up to plant head, then vice president. So yeah, it depends more on the organizational structure. So yeah, like till top profile of operations you could go, and even like CEO positions you could like if you have capability you could go for CEO positions as well.
True, very true. So guys, sky is the limit. Operation is definitely equal. You talk about marketing, finance, it's equally important. And ऑपरेशन का मतलब ये नहीं होता कि आपको टिपिकल जॉब मिलेंगे, ऑपरेशंस की जॉब भी बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग है मेरे ख्याल से। ऑपरेशंस में नाउ द टैलेंट रिक्वायरमेंट विल बी मच, देयर विल बी लॉट ऑफ ओपनिंग्स इन ऑपरेशंस एंड देयर विल बी लॉट ऑफ sort of different job profiles coming up in operations. Top position for any corporate after MBA in operations, like MBA in finance as CFO. You have COO, right? The ones who takes care of the entire operations, right? So you have that sort of designation, what just you mentioned, Nikhil, at CFO. Okay, cool. Anything else you guys want to talk about? Anything else you guys want to ask? Okay, cool. I think so we are done for the day. Thank you so much, guys, for joining, and thanks a lot, Shashank, for joining today and sort of enlightening us on the operations front. Cool. So once again, which courses should opt for? So Coursera, there are a lot of courses that you can go for. Like there are courses from MIT and all that. You guys sort of go for that. We will be uploading the list of all the certifications that we just said in the description of the video. Probably that will be up by tonight, so you guys can have a check on that. That's not a problem. And I think that's it from our side, guys. Thank you so very much for joining us tonight. Next session ka update aapko aa jayega. Next session ka update aa jayega. You can put the comment. We are looking for these sort of sessions. We will do those sessions. Okay. So Shashank, thank you so much, buddy. Yeah, thank you so much for joining. Bye, guys. Thanks a lot.